Hi everyone. Well, it's a lovely evening here in the northeast of England where I live. And I thought you might like just a nice wander through my garden to see what's opened this week. Because every day I come out, there's something new has opened up. So come on in and have a look around. So this little area here, this is the front of the house. This is one of my favourite geums down here. I split this geum last year and dotted it throughout the garden. All these borders, I promise you, just explode into colour in the next, I would say, month. I've got a beautiful peach iris that's just gone over there. There's a beautiful purple buddleia at the back there. I've got Veronicastum alba, which will be big tall white spires at the back. There's Crocosmia lucifer, which is big red flower over there. I've got two big patches of Alstroemeria. This is a beautiful true geranium. It's a deep gentian purple. And then we've got yellow loosestrife and orange Montbretia. So I'll show you some of the plants that are open now. So I've got a beautiful Weigelia there and one here. If you have a look at, it's just gorgeous. Isn't that beautiful? And what I've found, I always keep the tops quite low because everything just seems to grow sort of giant scale in this garden. And what I found on the bottom was it was just coming down like a huge cone, which was beautiful. But I like to underplant it with lots of other plants. This is a very early flowering geranium that the bees just love. So I've got this all over the garden. It's one of the first flowers to open. Great source of nectar. This is a beautiful Aquilegia. Isn't that gorgeous? I've got Aquilesias all over. Nice big patch of Shasta daisy there. This, I just noticed this yesterday. Look at, isn't that exquisite? These are alliums, and I bought them in a, you know, you get those packets of allium bulbs, like a mix, and that was in it. This is a climbing rose that my husband bought me last year. This is called the Wild Rover, and that's just coming into bud. If you look in that dark corner over there, the iris is just finishing off. And that beautiful orchid type plant on the left there, the white one, that's New Zealand satinflower. And I find that is brilliant in my garden because, as you'll see, there's lots of trees and it's quite shady. So I find that anything white, like white iris or well, anything white just really pops. So I grow lots of daisies. This is a big clump of daisy here. These are beautiful, aren't they? Gorgeous iris. And what happens in my garden is, if you just have a pan up the garden there, you'll see the palette is purples, pinks, mauves. We've got a beautiful Jacob's ladder here. Isn't this just gorgeous? Isn't that beautiful? And then behind it, that big patch over there, that's a Strantia. Now that gets a big, tall, pale, very pale pink flower. I've got alliums here. The bees, look, there's a little baby bumblebee. Oh, it's flown away. Lots of alliums. They are a beautiful allium. Those drumstick ones there, I've got a feeling they're the gigantica ones, that the heads on them grow sort of like this, they grow up here. The yellow rhododendron is finished there. I'm going to be deadheading that, but that lovely red one's just come out this week. It's just gorgeous. And then I've got, this is a Japanese cherry tree, and I don't know whether you can tell, but I've grown a clematis up it, and it's right to the top. You can just see a patch of clematis up there. When I look up my bedroom, I can see the clematis on the top of the tree. It's that's a really good tip actually, because Japanese cherry trees, they're so short-lived, fabulous but short-lived. Mine, sort of, the wind will have all the blossom down in about a week. And what I found is the Clematis montana, if you grow through your Japanese cherry tree, when the cherry tree blossom is finished, the montana is just coming out, and it really extends the flowering. This is a beautiful aquilegia. Isn't that gorgeous? Pale pink. And that's a beautiful heuchera there. So I'll show you the garden again as the rather than me just keep pointing to clumps of green and saying, oh, this is what it's going to be. We'll concentrate on what's out. This rose tree here, I bought it last year. It's called Rachel, and one of my daughters is called Rachel. Isn't that fabulous? And you can see I've got loads of buds on there. Beautiful iris there. And then this is the palest pink persicaria. Absolutely gorgeous. Another fabulous aquilegia. Deep purple. I just love them. And then as we come round here, we've got lots of alliums in this section. Pale sort of lavender ones. I don't know what the difference between these colours is. Is that like a mauve? They go very well with the alliums. And then we've just got the end of the forget-me-not there. That just self-seeds. It's very happy. In this border, got a beautiful deep red peony that's going to be opening shortly. And then these two spires here, they are delphiniums. That one there grew right to the top of the window there, and then it's sort of fallen over before I got a chance to pin it up. But I actually quite like it growing up there. I think it'll survive the wind in this garden better because it is lying over there. So my borders are jam-packed, they're very loose. The wild garlic, that's just coming to an end here. That's wild garlic there. And that has a pure white little flower. And if you pick it whilst the flower's still on, you just crumble it up in your hand like that, and you can put it on your salads or you can cook with it. And I find it's a much milder form of garlic than the big bulbs. That's a lovely aquilegia. And then what happens if you come back and have a look at this garden in, say, another 2 weeks' time? The colour palette starts to change, and I get sort of oranges and yellows and russets coming through. This is a lovely shrub. This is Thalictrum. It's from the Aquilegia family, but it grows more like a shrub. That's beautiful. I've had him for years. And you'll notice that I've still got quite a lot of wallflower. The flowers have been right the way up these stems, and these are the last petals to be hanging on. So I always like to leave them for the bees until the very end. And then what I do is I just cut the wallflower back down to a nice sort of bushy plant, and then he'll come back next year. And a lot of people if you haven't got much room, a lot of people will just treat their wallflowers as annuals, but actually you can get 2 or 3 years out of wallflowers. The baskets there, I've got a video out where I planted these baskets up. They're doing really well. That's bacopa, and that will spill down the front. You'll not see any of the basket there. And then I've got pale pink trailing geraniums in and pink standard geraniums. I have tried growing other things in my baskets, but it's south facing, this garden, and it's very windy and the baskets just dry out too quickly. This is one of my favourite borders because of the peonies. I've got a big clump of Sarah Bernhardt peony there, a big clump here, and then if you have a look, this plant that's growing up in amongst the peony is a white campanula. It's beautiful, pure white, and it's just, I must have planted it years ago, and every year it just comes up. And it really, so this is a froth of pale pink and white. It's beautiful. Love my London Pride. Got lots of alliums in there, some very pretty grasses. I've got a clematis growing up this trellis here, and he's actually started to behave himself. Every time I pinned him up, he would spring free, and he likes to romp towards the sun through the peonies, but he needs tidying up again. And then this is just how I have the front of my garage, which is a great idea if you don't put your car in the garage and you've just got a big blank space with a metal door. So just sneak in and claim that space. Get your pots out. This is the little courtyard area where it's where we go into the garage. It's where I hang my washing, and I have just put a video out. This is all shady plants that grow in here, so lots of ferns, beautiful acer. If you come in, I'll shut the gate. Beautiful acer over there. I have hostas. This is a gorgeous astleby. I used to grow my astlebys in the garden, in the borders, and I could never understand why they kept dying and frazzling up, and I didn't realise they liked so much water. So I grow them all in pots now. Beautiful Solomon seal there. So if you've got a very dark little courtyard area, you might like to have a look at that video. It's just how I arrange it. I only sort of arranged it about 2 weeks ago, and already these ferns here that are coming up here, that one and this one here, and then I've got 2 other tubs of ferns. They will all grow this big, so keep an eye out, because as the ferns grow, I have to keep moving pots around to give them space. Right, and I'll show you into this little back garden area that I have. So this border here is very sunny, and this border here is deep shade, and that back border there is where I put any plants that I'm not sure what to do with them, because the soil is about 50% sand. We used to have a huge pond here, and then the grandchildren came along, so we took the pond away. We had it turfed. We put a playhouse in over there, which was great until they saw one spider and then never went in it again. So we got rid of the playhouse, and then about 2 years ago we laid this lovely stone down. But I am thinking that I would love a greenhouse, and I will be doing a video on it, but I'm trying to think, could I get a greenhouse in this tiny space? And I'm sure I can. I think we've sort of pegged it out because I want to keep as much of this border as possible, and I want to keep as much of that border as possible. But I can dig these plants out, transplant them around the garden, and there is a manhole cover at the back there, right at the back near the fence, so we can go up to that, and then the greenhouse door would be about here. And it has to be totally practical and very, very beautiful. So I'm thinking of getting a wooden one and painting it black. So you might want to revisit the channel and see how that works out. These have been gorgeous. These are just going over, these white iris. And I'm constantly checking the borders for what works and what doesn't. So when these are finished, if you look down there, that is a beautiful Rebecca that goes right up here, and he's bright yellow. I'm loving these pops of pale pink Aqualesia, but I'm not so fond of the dark purple ones. And I've got a big clump there, and there. So I think I'm going to take those out and just have the pale ones in here. This is one of my favourites. Look at that. So that is an exquisite Aqualesia there. And I really love this dark sort of burgundy one as well. Isn't that beautiful? And then that climbing rose over there is pink, and it gets just covered in the tiniest little pink roses. And then last year I planted one of my aces. I'm wishing I hadn't now, but I planted one of my huge aces, which was in a tub in that corner, because I think, well, he will definitely stay when the greenhouse comes, because I think it'll just soften. We have got a lovely view. If you can lift the camera up, the rapeseed is just opening up there. But I think a nice acer in that corner will be lovely. And then this is another plant. I've got some Alstroemeria here that's deep red. That is gorgeous. And then this lovely, it's from the chive family, lovely purple. And this is a lovely geranium. So I hope you've enjoyed this stroll through my garden on this Sunday evening. I hope you're all well. Thank you very much for visiting the channel. I would love it if you could subscribe. That'll help YouTube push the videos out to as many people as possible on just how wonderful gardening is. So bye bye till next time.